and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World with me, John Jordan. So news looking at today is Binance is sort of doubling down on its already kind of big interest in NFTs and gaming. So they're launching a specific sort of game, sort of launchpad type thing. So launchpad was its way of sort of doing token launches, as in sort of cryptocurrency launches, tokens. But now they're doing more specifically about NFT games. So this is sort of building on top of what they've already been doing at this Binance sort of NFT sort of initiative they've had. And as they say, their sort of games have already launched through that, and so they are obviously wanting to do sort of more of that, and it sort of makes sense. I mean, game NFTs are different to sort of art NFTs or sort of profile NFTs, so it sort of makes sense to break that out, I suppose. So we have the initial game offering. Everyone seems to like some sort of an acronym with a zero at the end for offering. So they're doing this, and obviously it's being Binance. So the positive thing about Binance is it just has tons of users and absolute tons of liquidity. So people on Binance are kind of OG traders in many respects. They've made tons of money over the years by sort of doing these crazy trades. As you might gather, I'm not a sort of massive fan of crypto trading. I don't do it really myself. I'm not a massive fan of Binance either, in the sense that Binance is quite obviously sort of centralized system, or obviously it's a centralized sort of exchange, and as it gets involved with things like sort of DeFi and other things, it tends to do that from a fairly centralized manner. So obviously Binance Smart Chain is sort of the key to this sort of play. We're seeing sort of games increasingly come to Binance Smart Chain, but Binance Smart Chain, I mean, I'm not so bothered, but it's obviously not a centralized, it's not a decentralized blockchain in the way Ethereum is. So let's just put it that way. So I guess and the other thing is, we'll go on that in a minute. Let's go through this. So obviously this is interesting where projects that are going to be launching on Binance Smart Chain. That's sort of would seem to be the sort of what it's supporting. Why would Binance support anything else? It's going to support their own chain. So if you're looking to do something on Binance Smart Chain, you can get on there clearly. In the short term, at least, anything that goes on here is just going to do super well. As they say here. The majority of collections have sold out in seconds, some reaching 23 times their initial price. So we're seeing this across a lot of NFT projects. Obviously, we're having a lot of people sort of piling in the early days. Then obviously a lot of flippers. I mean, that just goes with the territory. People just sort of selling off at a higher price, and then after that point, so it becomes some sort of idea for sort of community and how and whether anyone actually wants to use these things in games. And I guess that's the biggest issue for most of these NFT projects. Is it's very easy to put together some brilliant artwork and build a team and build a community on Discord, because everyone wants to make money, and NFTs are the sort of way to make money at the moment. That seems to be the sort of big trend. But particularly with these game ones, it's really hard to make a game. Really easy to sell NFTs. So there's a big sort of divide there in the long term about how this sort of stuff sort of plays out. So different ways of launching here. You can do an auction, a fixed price, mystery boxes, have some sort of complicated tiered system, whatever. And sort of there we go. So obviously you need to be a Binance user. That's sort of the point of this for Binance, is it's getting people to join up to Binance and have put value into the Binance ecosystem. So we'll wait and see. So it looks like actually just happened. D-Race, a horse racing game. So without knowing anything about this, I'm going to sort of say this is obviously inspired by Zed Run, which has been the first big sort of horse racing game on the blockchain. There's quite a few other ones that are similar to that. The concept is not so difficult. You have NFTs that you can breed, and then you race them. There we go. So let's have a quick look let's quick look at the sort of the Binance NFT sort of marketplace at what's there at the moment. So I don't really know anything about this. I'm not really part of the Binance ecosystem, but we can kind of see, you sort of get the idea what's going on here. So some of these this is for the game, I assume, that D-Race game we were just talking about, $3,000, $8,000 for that one, Demigod ticket. And then we have a whole bunch of obviously sort of cloned from the Ethereum side of things. That's my big problem with a lot of the stuff on things like Binance, is clearly you just look to see what was big on Ethereum and then sort of somehow try and sort of copy it. And you can see here the artwork doesn't even sort of line up very well. I mean, anyway, I'll just shut up. So on the gaming side, we have a few different sort of things here that they've launched already. Again, sort of the issue with, it's easy to sell NFTs, and it's easy to sort of sell sort of what a game might be. I think it's much harder to actually build a game. So there's one here. This is big big time studios. They've got this sort of big game called Big Time. They've raised 20 million, probably more than that in terms of other funding. But they're sort of a game team. They've made games before. The CEO is Ari from Decentraland, so pretty well known in the blockchain space. They're going to do something interesting. But they're well funded and they know what they're doing. That's not the case for a lot of these kind of things. And let's actually have a quick look at DApp Radar. So if we go to DApp Radar and look at their Binance Smart Chain page and look at just games, there are some that are doing pretty well in terms of users. So Binance Smart Chain has done really well in terms of users, in terms of on the DeFi side. And there are some games here that are doing okay. Nothing to sniff at there. Almost 80,000 daily active unique wallets for crypto mines. But I guess as we go down, it's sort of this is not the sort of 300,000 or whatever it is we're getting on sort of Axie Infinity on chain or Alien Worlds or Splinterlands, which are sort of much more developed games with I think good gameplay and good ecosystem. So this big one, Mobox, has been pretty interesting. It's an NFT sort of farming game. I mean, people are calling these sort of GameFi because basically they're very simple games. I mean, I haven't got a problem with gameplay being simple. I've played a lot of free-to-play mobile games, but these are sort of these are really more DeFi, I think, than games in many places. And I guess here, I mean, I don't know what these games are. I haven't checked them out, but here we have the prime example here of sort of what I think tends to happen on something like Binance Smart Chain is Crypto Blades. So Crypto Blades at one point was over 400,000 unique wallets, people making tons of money off it. But now it's down to pretty much nothing. I mean, if you look at the if you look at the trajectory, I've done videos about Crypto Blades. It was functional, but you had to sort of buy an NFT and then you sort of did a random sort of battle and then you got some XP. But there were lots of things where it wasn't a particularly great game. They're trying to reboot it now. I think that's fairly unlikely to happen. But this is sort of the problem when you have unexperienced teams who are making games and then sort of selling the buzz around the NFTs on it. And I kind of think, at the moment, for whatever reason, I think the good experienced teams are not building their games at the moment on Binance Smart Chain. That may change in future, of course, but at the moment we haven't really seen any sort of strong games really come in and sustain themselves on Binance Smart Chain. As I say, that may change over time. Obviously, Binance as a company tends to have a more sort of Asian-centric approach. So I guess those are the sort of where we're seeing the sort of Asian developers who are coming into Binance Smart Chain and launching there. Western developers, I think, tend to be much more sort of Ethereum focused, and obviously we have things like Solana and Flow, which are sort of coming to the fore as well. So it's interesting that Binance is doing this. I mean, Binance is obviously a very big company and it's all over everything. They have been very keen on games. They've done obviously stuff with the sandbox and things like that. So I think we'll see more of that from Binance. So personally, I'm not like a massive fan of what they do, mainly because I think they're just too centralized in their approach. But we will see. And I don't think there's anything wrong with hopefully in the year's time, Binance Smart Chain will have some really good games on it. But I just don't think Binance Smart Chain's been around for about a year now, getting on for a year, and we haven't really seen anything yet. I haven't seen anything that sort of interests me to play. I see these sort of things come in and go away again quite quickly, which I don't think is a good sort of not a good example for what we want to see in blockchain games. Anyway, that's enough for today. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you like this sort of stuff, and see you again soon.